I have to reinforce over and over again, as I have people on their channels or mediums or anybody that's quote opening themselves up, because for some people, the first question they ask, well, what if something bad comes in?
Right.
And it's funny because my response to my friend that time was like, what if something good comes in? What if I open myself up and, you believe in the Holy Spirit? What if I open myself up to the Holy Spirit? Why do we always have to go to the negative, to the fear? And I've talked to so many people who are channels, mediums, whatever word we want to use. And I see the healing that comes from it. And what you're doing is opening up not even just the people who are on the other side, but now we're talking about our animals and our loved ones who may be non-communicative. It could really help us to understand each other, so much better, and even understand end of life, what's going on there.
Yes, exactly. And I do understand where the fear mostly comes from. I have a very dear friend, just like your friend, who is really worried for me. I don't share my work with her. She can't. She prays for me.
Yeah.
She prays for my safety and that my openness will not bring in devil energy. And so I'm thankful for the prayers. I don't need them. I feel very confident and comfortable with how I do this work, but I know it's coming from learned behavior, learned fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that she loves me too. So, and your friend does as well. And, we need more love. And so I'm going to keep channeling love. And so are you. And eventually that will be the go-to.
I think for most people, it does come from a good place. It comes from a real sense of concern. And I appreciate that. But it's interesting because they'll say, well, I'm going to pray for you. Well, now you're opening yourself up to spirit, and I've realized as I've gotten older and start learning, it's like we use different words for the same thing. Christians will say, I'm going to pray for you. Someone else might say, I'm going to meditate, or I'm going to open myself up to spirit. And I remember when I was going to this evangelical church, and we had this kind of a ceremony where you would choose a neighbor that you wanted to get saved in the next year, and you write their name on a piece of paper and then burn the paper. And I'm like, if a pagan did this, we'd call it witchcraft and say it was the devil, but that was perfectly fine because we were in a church.
Wow. That's why I'm really encouraging people to explore what they have come to just accept in their religious teachings or upbringings, not for the purpose of upending your life. Just you are, your own agent here. You have the ability to really feel into, does this still resonate with me? Does this feel right aligned? Is this how I want to be or feel? Because we get to choose different thoughts and beliefs if we want to.
Right. And just imagine the healing that you're holding yourself back from. Again, going back to the Christian thing, we would do laying on of hands. For example, the Bible teaches the laying on of hands. Then I talk to people who are Reiki healers or other energy healers. The practice healing touch. It's the same thing, but if we call it one thing, then it's bad. If we call it another thing, then it's good. And if you've got a loved one that, again, is not communicative and they're coming to that end of life, imagine the healing and the peace you could get if you could somehow communicate with that person.